humble beginnings, this land and its people have created something truly unique and extraordinary. Its government, its people, innovations and inventions, even its music, have been born and grown into what we call uniquely American. This is our history and legacy, our story and song, our American anthem.
American anthem is each song of our great nation. The words and music that express each trial and tribulation. In a land of opportunity, from sea to shining sea. An American anthem to the sing. An American anthem, we applaud each note and rhythm. Every decade there's a style, a special magnetism. In this land we call America, where music is set free. An American anthem, of thee we sing.
Our song begins in the 17th century as Puritans, Protestants, and other pilgrims sailed to these shores seeking religious freedom to worship as they saw fit. They arrived to discover a land of hardships and challenges, unforgiving soil and harsh winters. But they also discovered an unexpected ally, the native tribes of this land who taught them to survive and thrive in these conditions. Through hard work, perseverance, and this alliance, our early settlers built new homes and planted the beginnings of generations to come. And as they grew in strength and numbers, they began their first songs, songs of thanksgiving.
We gather together to ask the Lord's blessing. He chastens and hastens his will to make known. The wicked oppressing now cease them from distressing. Sing praises to his name, he forgets not his own.
As they grew and prospered, they asked to be represented fairly. And when that failed, they longed for the freedom to govern themselves. Through debate and resolution, they called themselves Americans, and they fought for the right to be free.
That these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states. That they're absolved of all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is, and ought to be, totally dissolved. Richard Henry Lee.
Thomas Jefferson declared it, Congress approved it, and Americans won it. Freedom, the right to govern ourselves and control our own destiny. And as we grew into a fledgling nation, our song went on.
And the rock is right there, the mountains bursting in air. They flew through the night, and our flag was still there, still there. Land where my fathers died, land of the Pilgrim's Ride, from every mountainside let freedom ring.
But our efforts were far from perfect. In order to attain freedom, our founding fathers made a most painful compromise: slavery. Thousands of men and women were brought to this land in chains and were denied the same rights and freedoms both groups fought to enjoy. But even these souls in chains sang their own songs of freedom. A freedom that would take a century to be agreed upon, and a century after that to be accepted.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
Swing low, sweet chariot,
Coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home.
a band of angels coming after me.
Coming for to carry me home. Coming for to carry me home.
As the years went on, even with the advancements our young nation made with government and expansion, America could not escape the shadow of the slave trade. People crying out freedom for all clashed with those demanding slavery for their livelihood.
A house divided against itself cannot stand. I believe this government cannot endure permanently half slave and half free. I do not expect the house to fall, but I believe it will cease to be divided. It will become all one thing or all the other. Abraham Lincoln.
The conflict escalated into a so-called civil war as our nation fought against itself. And once more we sang songs of battle, but this time of North against South and brother against brother.
When Johnny comes marching home again, hurrah, hurrah. We'll give him a hearty welcome then, hurrah, hurrah.
The men will cheer and the boys will shout.
The ladies, they will all turn out.
And we'll shout hurrah
And we'll shout hurrah when Johnny comes marching home. Yes, we'll rally round the flag, boys, we'll rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. Yes, we'll rally round the bonny flag, we'll rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. Always stand on the Union side, battle for the ride. With conscience clear, we'll laugh at the fear in the midst of the boldest fight. Always stand on the Union side and keep your powder dry. We'll soon rejoice both far and wide to see secession die.
Oh, I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old times there were not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland.
All the way down south in the land of traders, rattlesnakes and alligators. Right away, right away, right away, come away.
I wish I was in Dixie. Hooray, hooray.
Each Dixie boy must understand that he must mind his Uncle Sam. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Oh yeah, you think we're good? Huh?
With the Emancipation Proclamation and the end of the Civil War, our nation ended its conflict, and true equality was one step closer to becoming reality. But freedom lost one of its greatest champions with the assassination of President Lincoln. But as the songs of battle passed, our nation started to heal, and we began the long journey to becoming the ideal set forth by Jefferson nearly 100 years earlier, where all men are created equal.
Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He hath loosed the faithful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. I have seen him in the watchfires of 100 circling camps. They have built him in an altar in the evening dews and damps. I can see his righteous sentence by the dim and flaring lamps. His day is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. He's marching on.
Despite the dark times, America continued to forge ahead with ingenuity, invention, and discovery. The 19th century held promise of new lands and better times. The Pony Express and covered wagons soon gave way to the telegraph and the transcontinental railroad. Filled with the excitement of frontier lands, not to mention discovering gold, coal, and oil, Americans decided to go west, young man, and grow up with the country. As our music filled the western skies, we fulfilled our manifest destiny.
Oh, I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. I've gone to Louisiana for my true love for to see. Oh, Susanna, oh, won't you cry for me? Oh, I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee.
There's a yellow rose in Texas.
Then I am going to see.
No other fella knows her.
No other, only me.
She cried so when he left her.
He'd like to break my heart.
And if we ever find her, we'll never more apart.
The Dankow ladies sing this song.
Do-da, do-da.
The Dankow racetrack 2 miles long.
Oh, do-da, day. Going to run all night. Going to run all day.
I bet my money on the bobtail man.
Somebody bet on the break. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes.
When she comes.
She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes.
When she comes.
She'll be coming round the mountain.
She'll be coming around the mountain.
She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be riding six on the railroad
all the long day.
She'll be riding six on the railroad
To pass the time away.
She'll be riding six on the horses with the riders
early in the morning.
She'll be screaming and a-pumping.
Oh Lord, she will stop for nothing.
She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll come round the mountain when she comes.
America continued to make progress into the late 1800s. Abundant resources, energy, and technology brought forth the United States Industrial Revolution. We introduced the phonograph, the typewriter, and the electric light. And the promise of a better way shone a guiding light, bringing immigrants from England, Ireland, Japan, Scandinavia, and a dozen other lands. And America begins to find her own voice through the words of Emerson, Du Bois, and Thoreau, Mark Twain, and Emily Dickinson.
I took my power in my hand and went against the world. 'Twas not so much as David had, but I was twice as bold. Emily Dickinson.
With promise and progress, we moved bravely towards a new century with a romance and fervor that begs for accompaniment. Parlor songs, immigrant tunes, and spirituals blended together in their own unique symphony. In the words of Walt Whitman, I hear America singing, the varied carols I hear.
In the good old summertime, in the good old summertime, strolling through the shady lanes with your baby mine. You hold her hand and she holds yours, and that's a very good sign that she's your tootsie wootsie in the good old summertime.
Easy would walk with the strawberry blonde and the band played on.
She glides across the floor,
The girlie adored
and the band played on. But her brain was so loaded it nearly exploded.
The poor girl was shaped with alarm.
She married the girl with the strawberry curls, and the band played on. Her brain was so loaded it nearly exploded. The poor girl was shaken with alarm. She married the girl with the strawberry curls, and the band played and played and played. Yes, the band played on.
The dawn of the 20th century ushered in even more change. Towns became cities, but big city living and growing industry had hidden dangers. Muckrakers and reformers cried out against corporate injustice, improved working conditions and child labor laws, and expanded our voting rights. The American voice would be heard louder and stronger than ever before. And our music became more our own, with patriotic marches of John Philip Sousa. The African-American sound gave birth to the blues, and Scott Joplin rang in a new era in music called ragtime.
Won't you play a simple melody like my mother sang to me? One with good old-fashioned harmony. Play a simple melody.
Musical demons set your heart in a dream. Won't you play me some rag? Just change that classical mag with some sweet musical drag. If you will play me a copy of a tune that is choppy, she'll get all my applause. And that is simply because I want to listen to rag. Come on and hear Alexander's ragtime band. Come on and hear, it's the best band in the land. They can play a bugle call like you never heard before.
So natural that you want to go to war.
That's just the bestest band wanted.
Honey lamb, come on along.
Let me take you by the hand until the land, who's the leader of the band. And if you care to hear the Swanee River Lane in ragtime, come on and hear Alexander.
In the summer of 1914, tensions between Germany and the rest of Europe soon escalated into war. At first, America under Woodrow Wilson tried to remain neutral, but growing threats to American soil from the German alliance and attacks on American ships soon led our nation to join with the Allied forces in the First World War. Back at home, we rallied together with new strength and determination. Jobs left vacant by soldiers were filled by women. War bonds and meatless Mondays were embraced by the public, and our patriotism was underscored by new composers Irving Berlin and George M. Cohan.
Oh, how I hate to get up in the morning. Oh, how I hate to get out of bed. For the hardest blow of all is to hear the bugler call. You gotta get up, you gotta get up, you gotta get up this morning. I'll amputate his levelly and step upon it heavily and spend all the rest of my life. I gotta get up, I gotta get up. I gotta get up, I gotta get up, this gotta get up, I gotta get up, I gotta get out of bed.
I'm the kid that's all the candy. I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy. I'm glad I am. So's Uncle Sam. I'm a real live Yankee Doodle. Made my name and fame and boodle, just like Mr. Doodle did by riding on a pony.
He's a Yankee Doodle dandy, a Yankee Doodle do or die. A real live nephew of his Uncle Sam, born on the 4th of July. I've got a Yankee Doodle sweetheart, she's his Yankee Doodle joy. Yankee Doodle went to London just to ride the ponies. He is a Yankee Doodle boy. Yankee Doodle went to London just to ride the ponies. He is a Yankee Doodle boy. Over there, send the word over there. That the Yanks are coming, the Yanks are coming. The drums come tumbling everywhere. So prepare, send a prayer. Send the word over there. We'll be rolling, we're gonna go, and we won't come home till it's over there. I'm flying flag, and forever in peace may you reign. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true under red, white, and blue, and there's never a ghost or rag. Let your old acquaintance be forgot. Keep your eye on the
With victory in the war to end all wars, the United States was now seen as a world power, and prosperity seemed to be every American's right, as Henry Ford's automobile tripled in production in just over a decade. New home appliances such as the refrigerator, the washing machine, and vacuum cleaner went from luxury to necessity.
The court must insist the prisoner has been tried according to the established forms of law.
Yes, Your Honor, but by forms of law all made by men, interpreted by men, administered by men, in favor of men and against women. and hence your Honor's ordered verdict of guilty against a United States citizen for the exercise of that citizen's right to vote, simply because that citizen was a woman and not a man.
And Susan B. Anthony, though she never lived to see the day, her pioneering spirit helped suffrage to become success, as women gained the right to vote with the passage of the 19th Amendment. Of course, on top of all this excitement was the 18th Amendment, Prohibition. It was an attempt to return to what Warren G. Harding called normalcy, a regular, steady order of things. And so this decade also saw the birth of the diamond dance, the speakeasy, and the flapper. It was a decade that truly lived up to its name. The Roaring Twenties!
Picture you upon my knee, just T for two and two for T, just me for you and you for me alone.
Nobody near us to see us or hear us, no friends or relations on weekend vacations.
We won't have it known that we own a telephone.
Day will break and I'll awake and start to bake a sugar cake
For me to take, for all the boys to
see.
for all to see, and we will raise a family.
A boy for you, a girl for me.
Can't you see how happy we will be?
I want to be happy, but I won't be happy till I make you happy too. Life's really worth living when we are worth living. Why can't I give some to you? When skies are gray and you say you are blue,
I'll send the sun smiling through.
I want to be happy, but I won't be happy till I make you happy too. So my highway makes me dream all dreams I know can never be true. Seems as though I'll never be blue. Keep my happiness would I answer yes to? What do you want against who? No one but you.
Charleston, Charleston, made in Carolina. Some dance,
Some friends
I'll say, there's nothing finer than a Charleston, Charleston. Lord, how you can shuffle.
every step you do leads up to you.
Never tell me until I was in some time. You'll ever hit one time. The dance for the Charleston in South Carolina.
Here's the track.
See how it goes. Down your heels, up on your toes. Everybody do the varsity drag. Hotter than hot, newer than new, neater than me, bluer than blue. Gets as much applause as waving a flag. You can pass many a class, whether you're dumb or wise.
If you fall ever to the wall, when your professor cried,
Everybody down on your heels, up on your toes. Stay after school, learn how it goes. Everybody do the varsity. Kick your heels up, it's so hard to see. Everybody do the varsity drag.
But of course, all this excitement was only a small part of America. At the same time, large industries were only growing larger, while farmers fell upon hard times due to European competition. And easy credit drove more and more Americans deeper into debt. In actuality, over 2/3 of the nation was earning a barely livable income, and 1 out of 4 Americans would soon be unemployed. Over 5,000 banks would fail, and 85,000 companies would soon be out of business. The stock market crash of 1929 was not the sole cause, but rather a warning of the tougher times ahead. the mournful song of the Great Depression. Once I built a railroad, made it run, made it race against time. Once I built a railroad, now it's done. Brother, can you spare a dime? In our khaki suits, gee, we look swell, full of that Yankee Doodle-dum. 500,000 boots went slogging through hell. I was the kid with the drums. Hey, do you remember they called me Al? It was Al all the time. Say, do you remember I'm your pal? But can you spare a
This is preeminently the time to speak the truth, the whole truth, frankly and boldly. Nor need we shrink from honestly facing conditions in our country today. This great nation will endure as it has endured, will revive and will prosper. So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
President Franklin D. Roosevelt reawakened the nation with a New Deal. Programs like the NIRA, the PWA, and the TVA started the nation on a road back to stability and security. It was a long and difficult road to be certain, but new jobs, new power, financing, and relief gave the country hope when there was no hope to be found. And there was a reawakening of the sounds of Broadway as the music of Cole Porter and George Gershwin filled the stage.
I can't give you anything but love, baby. It's the only thing I conceive of, baby. Dreaming a while, scheming a while, you're sure to find happiness. And I guess all those things you've always pined for. Gee, I'd like to see you looking swell, baby. Diamond bracelets Woolworth doesn't sell, baby. Till that lucky day, you know darn well, my baby, I can't give you anything but love. What good is melody? What good is music if it ain't possessing something sweet? If it ain't melody, if it ain't music, there's something else that makes the tune complete. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do-wah, 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 do-wah. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do-wah, 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 do-wah. It makes no difference if it's sweet or hot. It's sweet
learned today that the Japanese have attacked the Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, from the air.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
As we enter the 1940s, once again looming threats from overseas, emphasized by the attack on Pearl Harbor, led our nation to join in World War. While our troops bravely fought across the oceans, here we kept the home fires burning with rationing and recycling. It was quite possibly the greatest show of support by the American people. And our music rallied us together as well, with songs of support, plus the heyday of one of the most popular forms of jazz music, the big band era.
He was a famous trumpet man from out Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was a top man in his crowd. But then his number came off and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, playing reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. A toot, a toot, a toot-a-toot. He blows an 8-2 ball. He boogie rhythm, he can't blow a note unless he plays the guitar and playing with him. He makes the company dance, but he was reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. Walking up slow to pop rickies, to our hearts delight. Then we just swing a real quickie, jukebox Saturday night. Goodman and Kaiser and Miller help to make things right. Mixing hot licks with vanilla, to jukebox Saturday night. Jukebox Saturday night.
That certain night, the night we met, there was magic abroad in the air. There were angels riding at the Ritz, and a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square.
Stand at your gaze, and the song that I sing is for moonlight. I stand and I wait for the touch of your hand in the June night. The roses are sighing a moonlight serenade.
Where there's music, how faint the tune.
Where there's heaven, how high the moon.
The darkest night will shine if you will come to me soon.
Until you will, I'll still my heart.
Until you will, I'll still my heart. Until you will, I'll still my heart. Would you like to swing on a star? Carry moonbeams home in a jar? Or be better off than you are? Or would you rather be amused?
Dig in the beat, catch you in the mood, catch you tapping your feet.
Get you in the mood, boys, groovy and neat.
First I held him lightly and I started to dance. Then I held him tightly, what a dreamy romance. Then I said, hey baby, it's 2:45. This best moonlight, won't you share it with me? Well, the answer, baby, don't you know that it's rude to keep my secret sweetie never in the mood?
In the mood.
That's what he told me.
In the mood.
That's what he told me.
sounds is the familiar tune and twang of country music. Influenced by Appalachian and early folk tunes, it was first recorded in the 1920s, but it came to mainstream prominence in the 40s and 50s thanks to the nationwide appeal of the Grand Ole Opry and singers like Hank Williams, Patsy Cline, and the Man in Black, Johnny Cash, singing songs of the working class man. It was a style Chet Atkins and Owen Bradley called the Nashville sound. You've got a way to keep me on your side. You give me cause for love that I can't hide. For you I know I'd even try to turn the tide. Because you're mine, I walk the line. I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends out for the tie that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line.
Your cheating heart will make you weep. You'll cry and cry and try to sleep, but sleep won't come the whole night through. Your cheating heart will tell on you.
I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy for feeling so blue. I'm crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you.
As we made our way into the 1950s, U.S. troops found themselves in the Korean conflict. The government was knee-deep in a Cold War, and the middle class was hip-deep in a baby boom. Television sets were in more and more homes, and we were sewing the 49th and 50th stars on the American flag. Now, musically, we found new ways to express ourselves as post-war popular music, rhythm and blues, gospel, and honky-tonk blended together in a radioactive sound we call rock and roll. And what was buzzin' cousin? A St. Louis hairdresser by the name of Chuck Berry, a Memphis truck driver by the name of Elvis Presley, and a Pennsylvania band leader called Bill Haley.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Put your glad rags on, join me, hon. We'll have some fun when the clock strikes 1. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Splish splash, I was taking a bath long about a Saturday night. Rub-a-dub, just relaxing in the tub, thinking everything was alright. Well, I stepped out of the tub, put my feet on the floor, wrapped the towel around me and I opened the door. And then splish splash, I forgot about the bath, wet and put my dancing shoes on.
Take out the papers and the trash, or you don't get no spending cash. And you don't scrub that kitchen floor. You ain't gonna rock and roll no more. Maniac!
Don't talk bad. nobody to call my own. Please turn on your magic beam, Mr. Sandman, bring us Mr. Sandman, please, Mr. Sandman, bring us our dream.
Only you can make all this world seem bright. Only you can make the darkness bright. When you hold my hand, I understand the magic that you do. You're my dream come true, my one and only you. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't nothing but a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine.
The walk through a party at the county jail. The prison band was there and they began to wail. The band was jumping and the jaw began to swing. You should have had this knocked out tail. Everybody in the whole cell block was dancing to the jailhouse rock. All right now.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you.
One small step for man.
I have a dream today. Ask what you can do for your country.
One giant leap for mankind.
Free at last! Free at last! Thank God Almighty, we are free at last!
We heard many voices of change and progress in the 1960s. There was political unrest, the Vietnam War, the space race, and years of turmoil which led to the realization of civil rights. And despite the so-called British invasion, American music still sang out strong, with the urban folk movement of Greenwich Village, the soulful Motown sound of Detroit, the beach tunes of California, and a little fella by the name of Chubby Checker. Peace, man.
Come on, baby, let's do the twist. Come on, baby, let's do the twist. Take me by my little hand, then we go like this. Everybody's doing a brand new dance now.
Come on, baby, do the locomotion.
I know you'll get to like it if you give it a chance now.
Come on, baby, do the locomotion.
My little baby sister can do it with ease. It's easier than learning your ABCs. So come on, do the locomotion with me.
Come on, baby, do the locomotion. It's my party and I cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. My folks were always putting him down. They said he came from the wrong side of town.
till we grow.
Well, I don't know if that's all true, but you've got me and baby, I got you. Babe,
I got you, babe. I got you, babe.
Left a good job in the city, working for a man every night and day. And I never lost 1 minute of sleep, worrying about the way things might have been. Big wheels keep on turning, proud Mary keep on burning, rolling, rolling, pulling on the rhythm.
What goes up must come down. Spinning wheel, got to go round. Talking about your trouble and you gotta learn. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheel turn.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, take care of TCB. Respect just a little bit, just a little bit. What you want, baby, I got it. What you need, you know I got it. All I'm asking is for a little respect when he gets home again, baby. Just a little bit, get home. Just a little bit, mister. Just a little bit. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. When the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter rides across, then peace will guide the planets and love will steal the stars. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, age of Aquarius. Let the sun shine, let the sun shine, the sun shining. Let the sun shine, let the sun shining, the sun shining. Let the sun shine, let the sun shining, the sun shining. Let the
The 70s took the momentum of the last decade and created its own unique voice. The fight for civil rights inspired the women's rights movement. The moon landings led to the creation of the space shuttle. And while the free-form stylings of 60s songwriters still made their voices heard, a more structured style was getting louder in music and in wardrobe. Like it or not, America was getting caught up in the groove of disco.
Staying alive, living in everybody shake, we're staying alive. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Yeah. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one.
Boogie fever, got to boogie down. Boogie fever, I think it's going around. I took my baby to the drive-in show. She turned the speaker down, now. Then she turned on the radio. I watched the silent movie, and funky sound. We got the boogie fever. I think it's going around. Young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man, get yourself off the ground. I said, young man, 'cause you're in a new town. There's no need to be unhappy. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. YMCA. You can have everything for your mental employed. You can hang out with all of your YMCA. YMCA. You can get yourself clean. You can have a good meal. You can do whatever you need. YMCA.
Like Enter the 80s. Amid the birth of the Valley Girl and Material Girl, we saw some true milestones. America's first female astronaut and first female Supreme Court justice. And we officially began to celebrate the life of Martin Luther King Jr. Now, musically, we celebrated the opening of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And for the first time, you can watch a music-only channel called MTV on something called cable television and recorded on a VCR. American music was more of a part of our lives than ever. And we erupted in a musical celebration.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
I got Pac-Man fever.
Celebrate good times. Come on. Let's celebrate. There's a party going on right here. A celebration to last without the year. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gon' celebrate and party with you. Come on now. Let's all celebrate and have a good time.
Uptown girl, she been living in her white bread world. As long as anyone hot blood can. And now she's looking for a downtown.
Out of the moonlight, you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes the sound before you make it. Yeah. You start to freeze as horror looks you right between the eyes. You're paralyzed. 'Cause this is thriller, thriller night. And no one won't save you from the beast about to strike. You know it's thriller, thriller night. 'Cause you're fighting for your life inside a killer's thriller. Thriller night. There ain't no second chance against the thing with the 40-odd girl. Oh, thriller night. 'Cause you're fighting for your life inside a killer's thriller.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver. For no mere mortal can resist the evil of the thriller. Once again, country music took center stage in American culture as more and more country artists crossed over to the popular stage. With the Nashville Network and the Country Music Awards, one of America's own brands of music was getting even more of the spotlight.
If your paycheck depends on the weather and the climate, if your conversation calls for a little more than the coffee pot, if you need to pour your heart out to try to rectify some situation that you're facing, contact your American Honky Tonk Bar Association.
I don't want another heartbreak. I don't need another turn to cry. No, I don't want another heart away. Baby, hello, whoa, no, goodbye. But you got me like a rocket, shooting straight across the sky. It's the way you love me. It's all feeling like this. It's centrifugal motion. It's perpetual bliss. It's that pivotal moment. It's impossible. This kiss, unstoppable. This kiss, unthinkable. Saturday night and the moon is out, gonna head on over to the twist and shout. Find a two-step partner that'll tell you to me. When it lifts me up, I'm gonna find my feet. Out in the middle of a big dance floor, when I hear that beat, I wanna play some more. Wanna dance to a band from Louisiana tonight. And I never have wandered down to New Orleans, never have drifted down a bayou stream. When I heard that music on the radio, and I swore someday I was gonna go down a highway 10 past Lafayette. There's a Baton Rouge and I won't forget to send you a card with my regrets, 'cause I'm never gonna come back home. Saturday night and the moon is out, gonna head on over to the twist and shout. Find a two-step partner in a cage of weed. When it lifts me up, I'm gonna find my feet. Out in the middle of a big dance floor, when I hear that beat, I'm gonna beg for more. Wanna dance to a band from Louisiana tonight. Saturday night and the twist and shout. Yeah!
The 80s flew by, and the 90s took over. The U.S. took on more of its role as a superpower, sending troops to Iraq, Bosnia, and Haiti, and our eyes were glued to the screen with the eruption of the information superhighway. Music was a lot easier to carry around as the album gave way to a more compact disc. American music was more of a melting pot than ever before, as hip-hop, rap, country, and grunge made up the sounds of a nation.
It's the MIB. Here comes the MIB show.
Here come the men in black, they won't let you remember.
Nah, the good guys dressed in black. Remember that, just in case you ever face to face and meet contact. Tell the hell by me, the MIB. What you think you saw, you did not see. So don't blink, think what was there was now gone. Black suit with the black Ray-Bans on. To walk in the silence, move in silence. We guard against extraterrestrial violence.
Look around, everywhere you turn is heartache. Everywhere that you go, look around. You try everything you can to escape the pain and life that you know. Come on, love. Let your body move to the music, move to the music. Come on, love. Let your body go.
believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away.
I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. 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 I believe I can
Now, we began the new millennium by surviving corporate mergers, reality television, and the once dreaded Y2K virus, which did not happen. You are so voted off the island. And though we have gone on to face more real threats and terrors, our song has continued to be one of hope and of strength. Perhaps one of the greatest signs that we as a nation have risen to the challenging times is that our music continues on as strong as ever before.
Man is a hot one, like 7 inches from the midday sun. I hear you whisper and the words melt everyone, but you stay so cool. And if you say that this life ain't good enough, I can give my world to lift you up. I will change my life to better suit your mood. 'Cause you're so. And it's just like the ocean under the moon. Well, it's the same as the emotion that I get from you. Kind of loving that could be so smooth, yeah. Give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it. Bye bye. Bye bye. I'm doing this tonight. You're probably gonna start a fight. I know this can't be right. Baby, come on. I loved you endlessly when you weren't there for me. So now it's time to leave and make it alone. I know that I can't take no more. It ain't no lie. I wanna see you out that door, baby. Bye, bye, bye. Don't wanna be a fool for you. Just another player in the game for two. You may hate me, but it ain't no lie, baby. Bye, bye, bye. Don't really wanna make it tough. I just wanna tell you that I had enough. It might sound crazy, but it ain't no lie. Bye, 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 bye.
I can still feel the way you want me when you hold me. I can still feel the words you whispered when you told me. I can stay right here forever in your arms. And there ain't no way that I'm letting you go now. And there ain't no way. And there ain't no how, never see the day. Wake up every morning to your
back when I was a child, before life removed all the innocence, my father would lift me high and dance with my mother and me, and then spin me around till I fell asleep. Then up the stairs he would carry me, then I knew for sure I was loved. If I could get another chance, another walk, another dance with him, I'd play a song that would never, never end. How I'd love, love, love to dance with my father again. Sometimes I listen outside her door, and I'd hear how my mother cried for him. I'd pray for her even more than me. I'd pray for her even more than me. I know I'm praying for much too much, but could you send back the only man she loved? I know you don't do it usually, but dear Lord, she's dying to dance with my father again.
What you doing tonight? I wish I could be a fly on your wall. Are you really alone? Still in your dreams? Why can't I bring you into my life? What would it take to make you see that I'm alive? If I was invisible, then I could just watch you in your room. If I was invincible, I'd make you mine tonight. If hearts were unbreakable, then I could just tell you where I stand. I would be the smartest man if I was invisible. Wait, I already am.
Here's the thing, we started out friends. It was cool, but it was all pretend. Yeah, yeah. Since you've been gone, and all you ever hear me say is how I picture me with you. That's all you'd ever hear me say. But since you've been gone, I can't breathe for the first time. So put it on, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Now I get what I want. Since you've been gone, since you've been gone, since you've been gone.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burden be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to
Throughout the centuries, our song has been a song of freedom. Freedom to live as we choose and pursue our own happiness. And it is our right and responsibility to protect those freedoms. And from this country's birth, the men and women of the armed forces have done just that. During this finale, we offer up the thanks of a grateful nation to those who serve and sacrifice. And when the song of your branch is sung, we invite those who serve to stand and be recognized. The United States has made breakthroughs, made mistakes, made history. Different states, races, creeds, ideas, united in a common cause to celebrate our differences and our common ground. That is what our forefathers lived, worked, hoped, and prayed for. It's not perfect, far from it. But every day we move closer to becoming a place where all are created equal. And that is our greatest song.
across the plains of Texas.
From sea to shining sea.
From Detroit down to Houston.
And New York to LA.
There's pride in every American heart.
And it's time we stand and say, hey.
That I'm proud to be an American.
When at least I know I'm free.
And I won't forget the men who died.
Gave that right to me.
And I'm glad we stand up next to you and defend us till today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this flag. God bless the USA. I'm proud to be an American. Where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'm glad we stand
anthem. That is our song. And we invite you